Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Built for the Stage podcast. This is Joe Rosko, founder and host of Built for the Stage, Broadway's #1 fitness platform. With clients in over 20 Broadway shows and other stages across the globe, like the West End in London, Australia. We have people in Hong Kong right now working for Disney. We have people in collegiate theaters across the US and the UK. We're everywhere, and we love for you to be a part of it. If you want to work with me one-on-one at no cost, no commitment, go to builtforthestage.com and we'll get started. We'll work one-on-one on an interactive fitness app, and I will teach you personally how to train like the actor athlete that you are. Special thanks to bpn.fm. You can check them out on Instagram as well. That's the Broadway Podcast Network. Thanks to them, our producing partners. All right, let's get on to the podcast solo session with none other than myself. Today's topic is why you should run to discomfort. The best of things, the most sought after, desirable things in life come with friction, comes with difficulty, comes with hurdles to jump over, doors to open, walls to crash through. If you ever watch a movie, if you ever watch a stage production, never do you want to show up and just watch someone go from A to B with no difficulty, with nothing to overcome. There is no purpose to watch a story that has no story, basically. And just to fill you in, your current life is your current personal story, and you are the hero in this story. You are the person that everyone is rooting for. And the #1 person that should be rooting for yourself is yourself. So I just wanted to talk about three things that maybe four things that I'm going through or voluntarily putting myself through in life. One is tennis lessons. Two is boxing lessons. Three was a situation I had at the gym today with a piece of equipment that I was unfamiliar with. And the fourth is working with an author on helping her heighten her awareness on social media so that she can get more people holding her book in their hands, getting to hear her story, her message. And this is something that I'm familiar with helping with, but maybe not necessarily with an author. So let's rewind to tennis lessons. I started tennis back in 2023, a little over a year ago. Never had played tennis, maybe a couple of times in middle school or high school, just fooling around. But I always loved tennis growing up. I love the skill of the game. I love the back and forth. I love the solo aspect where it's just you out there and there's no one else around you to help. I just love the game. But I never played it and I never had the opportunity to, mostly growing up where the finances just weren't there. Tennis typically being a more expensive sport to play or learn due to taking lessons or maybe having to belong to a club, et cetera, et cetera. So finally, I jumped in there and just got uncomfortable. And I consider myself to be a very athletic person. And tennis is an extremely humbling sport because of the skill that it takes to handle every angle and every situation with a racket. So no matter how fast or explosive or athletic you are, it's not really going to help you out in tennis. There's much skill to gain. So I just picked up my lessons again this past week. I had taken a good amount of time off considering I was traveling a lot, being in London, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a little bit of feeling like I was starting from stage one or back to the beginning. And a lot of my clients in fitness, or maybe you out there that's not a client, might find yourself in that position in fitness where you feel like, oh, starting from scratch is so daunting, or starting over again is so daunting. But you just have to jump back in and put your hat in the ring because it comes back. The foundation that you built will be there. And if you don't have a foundation, like example, my boxing lessons, I wanted a different type of conditioning. I wanted a different style of cardio, but I also wanted to do it in a skillful way and not just go in there and just look silly like a lot of people I see in the gym hitting a heavy bag and having no idea what they're doing. Or being with a fitness trainer who also has no idea what they're doing and pretending to be with one of their clients. So I hired a boxing coach, and that I really started from scratch, from zero. And the reason I'm bringing up the first example of tennis and now boxing is that me myself, I am also putting myself in situations and scenarios that I lack experience in or comfort in. So if you're tentative on starting a fitness journey, or if you're tentative to sign up for maybe that slightly more advanced dance class and you are fearing judgment, et cetera, this podcast episode is all about encouraging you to get uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is how we raise the bar. This is how success is achieved. It's not by staying in a comfort zone. There's a million analogies about a diamond under pressure. That's when it becomes a diamond, or the caterpillar into the butterfly, or I don't know. There's more, but I'm just blanking as the green camera light is staring me in the face. But you get it. But I know that you get it, but are you willing to do it? And how do you become willing to do it? You believe in yourself that you're worth putting yourself through the discomfort because you believe that you will rise to the occasion. And the only way that we can rise to the occasion is by showing up and not being good, and then showing up and being a little bit better than the time before, and then the time before, and then the time before. With fitness with me, or any person that you see out there that's achieving excellence, they didn't just start being excellent. They had to be willing to put themselves through the discomfort of learning, of failing. And if we can learn to fail, if we can learn to be told no, if we can learn to have the humility to realize that there's work to be done, then this is when we can become someone extraordinary. Going into the example about the piece of equipment today, there's a hip thrust exercise equipment at this new gym I'm at. And you could typically do this with a barbell or maybe a dumbbell resting on your thigh. But there are some machines out there that I have used and they were easy enough. But I was looking at this thing and I'm like, am I going to be, let's see now, a trainer of 18 years, just showing my age there, someone training people for 18 years. And am I going to walk up to this piece of equipment and let other people around the gym see me trying to figure it out? And I thought about all the times I've given messages like I'm giving right now in this episode, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I am. I am going to step up to this piece of equipment and try to figure it out and see if I can find my way. And I prepped myself to go to the piece of equipment, and if I couldn't figure it out, I was going to ask a trainer that might be familiar with it because it's their home gym. And I went up to the machine and I eventually figured it out. And I had a great 4 to 5 sets with it as a part of my session. And if I wouldn't have had the willingness to try to figure it out or to ask somebody, then I would have skipped it and I would have missed out on that opportunity within my session. Just like us in life with anything, if we're unwilling to try things out, to feel uncomfortable, to ask people questions that have expertise in the area, you're going to miss out. So we just have to put this pride behind us on feeling like we can't be seen in the state of growth, in the state of learning. And the last example I brought up was helping this author promote her book and promote herself and her self brand on social media. I've done this plenty of times with fitness people, even a dentist or a musician, et cetera, but never an author. So a part of me going into it is a little like, oh, I got a little imposter syndrome. But I know that everything else that I've done in the past that is in this realm is transferable. Those skills, the knowledge I have, author or not, astronaut, whoever, the systems I have and the knowledge I have is going to transfer over to an author or to someone who is starting an ice cream business. It doesn't matter. So I just have to tell myself that I've put the work in, I've prepped. And sometimes with y'all going into auditions, it might be a role or a show or something that you're unfamiliar with, but the skill that you have, the experience that you have is still there. And so oftentimes we allow the imposter syndrome to hold us back from going into the space and excelling and dominating in the way that we know that we can. So the whole message today, if you haven't gotten it already, is running to the discomfort. Be proud of failing. Be proud of screwing up. Be proud of not being the best. Be proud of having the willingness to show up, to be uncomfortable, and to know that this is what it takes to get to the area that you're trying to go. So that's the message for today. I hope you got something out of it in this 11 to 12 minute episode. If you're still with me, DM me on Instagram at Bill for the Stage and just tell me that you're running to the discomfort, and I'll give you a free month of coaching and put you into a drawing for some free Bill for the Stage apparel. No joke, no gimmick there. Just shoot me a DM and say that you're running to your discomfort. Would appreciate it if you shared the episode, shared our podcast, shared our socials at Bill for the Stage with our goal of equipping actors to train like the athletes that they are. All right, I'm Joe Rosko. That's it. Run to your discomfort. I'm rooting for you. If you need anything, hit me up. BillForTheStage.com at BillForTheStage. Actors or athletes, train like one. Later.